Hello, friends. Chris Corsi here, president of Thrive Today, and I want to welcome you to the Relational Skills in Real Life podcast. Friends, it's hard to believe 2024 is coming to an end. 2025 is already upon us. And as we think about this big transition from one year to the next, I'd like to share a few practical suggestions that you can use to get the most out of this time of looking back so that you can expect good things around the corner. You see, your brain is designed to look back in order to predict what happens next. So we always look in the rearview mirror to predict what's around the corner. And friends, when there's joy and peace and all kinds of good stuff in the rearview mirror, our brain anticipates more good stuff around the corner. And conversely, when we look back and we see pain and hardship and trials and all kinds of hard stuff, then our brain predicts there's more of that around the corner. And that can make us anxious. That can make us feel some depression. There's all kinds of unhelpful responses that can happen. But friends, it doesn't have to be this way. There's actually some very practical skills and exercises that we can do in order to savor the good stuff and grow the good stuff and expect the good stuff around the corner. Friends, just recently I was reflecting on my life. I was looking back and just thinking about those years where I felt so distant from God. You see, my high school, especially my college years, were pretty rough. I was just living reactively. My life was running on fear. I would avoid doing hard things and I would gravitate toward things that felt good and meaningful, right? And so I can remember just floundering. I was looking for things to help me numb and disconnect from my fears and my pain. I can remember desperately seeking comfort and trying to find good things that I could be excited about. I can remember in college just living desperately, trying to find meaning and purpose. I lived in a lot of despair. I spent a lot of my time partying and having fun. I chose the path of least resistance. I thought that's who I was. My identity revolved around my partying ways. Friends, my maturity cup was very low. Joy was absent. Resting and quieting was non-existent. My return to joy skills were missing in action. That's a hard way to live right there. And you know what? My distortions about God influenced a lot of my life. I knew God was real. I just thought he was this perpetually disappointed in me and angry with me because I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't reading my Bible. I wasn't going to church. And I just felt like he didn't care. So why bother? And friends, I'm so sad to look back on that. What a hard way to live. Unfortunately, it took 2 DUIs within a year to get my attention. My life was falling apart. And friends, I'd never want to go back to living that way. I was the prodigal son, desperately trying to find joy in all the wrong places. It's nothing short of miraculous that I didn't lose my life during this time. But God was faithful to bring me to him. Who I am today is nothing like the Chris from the past. Because now I love deeply. I live with compassion and clarity and confidence of who God made me to be. I see Jesus as loving and kind and present and compassionate and caring. He's not that angry God that I thought he was. He's not this distant, cold-hearted God. He is with me. He is with you. He sees us and he hears us and he understands us. He is good and he welcomes us into his presence. He has a seat at his table with our name on it. Just this morning, I was watching a video about a little boy whose parents surprised him with a puppy. And watching this little boy open his eyes and see this puppy and to see the shock and the surprise, but then he just wept. He just wept because of this gift. And you know what? I wept watching that. Those tears were flowing because it was such a beautiful demonstration of how the Father is to us. He gives us good gifts. He loves us. So I've been busily practicing relational skills to live from the heart that Jesus gave me, as the life model would put it. I'm able to live with joy and peace. I'm able to see some of what God sees in myself and in others, in the world. I've been able to find God's peaceful presence in some of the hard places of my life. I've learned to return to joy from big emotions so that I don't get stuck. I've grown in my ability to know when a breather is needed within me or within other people. I'm better able to stay relational in the good times as well as the hard times. I'm able to bounce back from big upsets. Now, friends, I still have a lot of growing to do. I certainly haven't arrived. I'm a work in progress. And as we look back on our year and we look forward with expectation, here's a little exercise I want to offer to you. Make a list of the highlights from your year. And if you need to look at your calendar to remember what you did, that's okay. I have to do that often. And as you look back on your year, invite Jesus into this process to show you some of what he sees when he looks at 2024. You can make a list of those highlights. You could take some time to celebrate and to remember and to feel. And you can even share stories of those highlights. And this is a great way to spread some joy by sharing those stories of the highlights. And you know what? We don't have to ignore or dismiss the hard stuff. You can even add those to a list of hard stuff. And you know what? We can invite Jesus into those places as well. So we can invite Jesus into the good stuff and the highlights and say, well, Jesus, what's important from these moments? What do you want me to know about those times? And then those other moments that kind of rob our peace, we can even invite Jesus to show us where he is in that. What does he see when he looks at some of those challenges or those trials that you've had to navigate? And friends, this is the path of peace. This is how we find peace and we amplify joy and we train our brain to expect and predict more joy around the corner. And then we look forward into the new year. We can write out some of what we anticipate in this new year, or maybe some of what we hope to see in ourselves or in our life. And we can share that with the Lord. And we can even invite Jesus to share with us what he sees as he looks forward into our new year. What's important, Jesus, that you want me to pay attention to? Friend, this is such a simple exercise, but it can be a very impactful exercise. And I would suggest before you go into that, take some time to get relational. Take some time to remember those gifts that he's given you and those times in your life where you felt his peace and his closeness. This is a great exercise that you can invite other people into. Take the time with friends or family members to remember the good stuff, feel the good stuff, and share the good stuff. And today is the day that you can start your transformation and take your skill training to an entirely new level. Maybe you need to break that exercise into smaller steps. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. No matter where you are in your life, you can grow more of the good stuff to become the best version of yourself. Someone who sees others with joy and love. Someone who lives with God's peace and perspective. Someone who reflects the living God in the good times as well as the bad. I want to invite you into the skill journey with me. We have an amazing team of people. We create some wonderful resources that will help you practice those skills in your life, in your family, in your community, in your small group. The Joy Switch is a great starter resource, has 19 exercises to practice some of the good stuff. My friend Marcus Warner and I created the 4 Habit book series. Lots of good resources there. The team has put together habit builder courses that you can practice online in one of our groups, or you can practice with friends or a small group. These are foundational skills with exercises that you can do. And you can learn all of that material at our website, thrivetoday.org. And it's my prayer and my hope that as our year closes out and we look forward to the new year, that there will be expectation, there will be testimonies, there will be joy and gladness, there will be celebration. We are children of the Most High God. He has a plan for our life, a plan to prosper us, not to harm us, plan to give us hope and the future. Be best, friends. Be blessed and have a wonderful new year.